Great. So happy Friday and welcome to this special webinar. It wasn't something I was planning only a few days ago. 2020 is certainly different now for all of us. All our plans have shifted. So yes, it will be different. And honestly, for many, it'll be tough. And for some businesses already potentially terminal. The objective of this webinar is to keep us all calm and initiate planning and actions based on some essential steps. My objective is to offer leadership and support as needed to anyone who needs it in my business community. There are some amazing global business leaders within the Action Coach community in which I'm a part. This initial content is from the most experienced business leaders around, including people like Brad Sugars, who invented business coaching, has built and sold 70 businesses, and he owns 12 as we currently speak. So there's some excellent contributors to this content. It's been proven in previous situations like this. First off, we need to move from denial, blame, anger, or depression into acceptance so that we can do what we can do now and make decisions. We don't know what will happen in 3 to 6 weeks, so this is all about the now. Our brains are hardwired to try to predict what might happen and protect us by thinking of all the different options. Right now, as we simply don't know what's going to happen, it triggers despair, fear, and anxiety, so it works against us. So the first thing we need to do is recognize that life is uncertain at all times. People are dying every day, regardless of COVID-19, but it's not on the news. And often it's unexpected, and it impacts all of us at other stages of our lives. We need to appreciate how lucky we are to be alive and know and remember that this event will pass. Can we have questions at the end, please? So if anybody has questions, please save them for the end, as you've heard we're recording, or put them in the chat box. Just type them in and Gail can watch those and we can get to them at the end. Okay, if you help you remember them. I'm recording this for sharing to help more people as needed, people that miss it. I'll also now be doing another webinar next Wednesday, the 18th at 4:30 p.m. So please write down your first action from this webinar. Share what you find useful and recommend others to join on Wednesday. The herd at the moment is doing the wrong thing or nothing, and they're going to suffer. So this is an opportunity for us all to help others by sharing information or getting them into events like this or others to give them some guidance. Good, well, let's crack on with the steps and the main content. Okay, so what action can we take right now? How quickly we react is a massive factor. And currently you cannot over-communicate. Daily communication. People revert to worry, it turns to negative, which leads to poor decisions or no or poor action. So who do we need to communicate with? Your team. If you're running a business and you have a team, over communicate. Daily huddles. What we do know, what we are doing, what we can do. Clearly customers, critical with customer communication. Steps you have taken to reduce the risk, the fact that you're still operating, what you can do to help, whether it be through you or through your network. Give comfort and get ahead of clients. The reason this webinar came about was me rapidly getting information together for my clients, which I did on Wednesday. So this is just leveraging that to have more people get value from the information for my clients. Okay. And then we've got networks, suppliers, and stakeholders. Okay. I myself, first video on LinkedIn today. It's all about adapting, doing stuff maybe we're not comfortable with or we haven't done before, getting stuff out there and over communicating how we can help. Focus on what we can do. Use social media channels or the good old telephone, ring people up. Also community, coming back to social media. This is about community. These events are literally just laid on to share best practice with as many people as possible, as quickly as possible. Okay. So step one's a pretty obvious one. Communicate every day with as many people as possible. Targeted communication. Take a few seconds now to think about your current communication, what you've done in the last few days or week to communicate with the people mentioned. Mark yourself out of 10. 10 being I'm all over it. Everyone knows what I'm up to. The team are on it. Everyone knows what they need to do. 1 being actually, I've been overwhelmed. I've had so much going on. I haven't communicated properly. So step 1, some bullet points for communication. Okay. Step 2, easier said than done sometimes, be positive. This may seem crazy. It is proven that these events, these big changes in markets, create opportunities every single time, as well as throwing up the obvious dangers. What can we seize, change and grow and do differently as opposed to retracting into our shells? It's too easy to do. It's a natural reaction. Now's a time to adapt and be positive. So panic and worry never helps. It's a natural state that we need to get over. Looking for the small wins every hour. Let's sweat what we can control. Ask the question, can I control that? If not, park it, write it down and move on. All these small wins, bits of positive feedback, teamwork going well, new client opportunities, new ideas to do things differently. Wins. There's a lot of people that are winning at the moment, doing well because of the current issues. Okay. What do people need that you can help with right now? Look for the quick wins. In the client meetings and conversations I've had this week, it's been amazing. Yes, there's been lots of worry and concern, but I've been amazed at how many great ideas people have come up with and how they've managed to convert things into small wins. Crucially, this is the how I can sell toilet paper, these different ways of doing things. What do people need? Sometimes less news is better. Okay, avoid being immersed in the news. There's some great, we're waiting right now for some news in terms of what is going to be available in terms of loans and funding for business. So that sort of stuff we need to monitor hard, but the rest of it, it's 24/7 news. It's too much. It adds to our overwhelm. And crucially, we need to lead our team and get into and create a great environment. How do we win through this opportunity? We focus relentlessly on what can be done. Being the most positive person in the room is critical. We'll come for some ideas to help with that later. But for now, just gauge quickly and note down. Just think for one few seconds how well you are doing at remaining positive, especially when you're around customers and team. Okay. Step 3, know the cycles. Okay. Business has cycles. Some of you may have been in business for 10, 15, 20 years. You'll know this. Many, many, many people won't and haven't been through this before. This event has obviously accelerated a fall. There will be a winter. We've had a very long summer and the fall has come far quicker and out of the blue. The sentiment appears to be that compared to 2008, it will be quicker to get to spring. We can't control the virus, but we will come out of this winter. Just watch China and then Italy. Okay, so we know what the seasons are. Typically, they are 7 to 10 year cycles. This one is obviously a once in a century event. The US election will ensure a stimulus, and the UK government has already indicated mass intervention, as have most European countries. Businesses need to do their bit by pivoting fast. Learning and working with your coaches, mentors, or others in your business community is critical. So the crucial thing is not to sit and wait. The primary message of this presentation is act now. Faster, faster, faster. I've had clients who've been on the presentation and then in the conversations afterwards, they're still suggesting activity in a week or 2. We need to be operating on a daily basis. Winter is not the time to do nothing, to pack up and wait for spring. It will kill businesses, even though it's the natural reaction. It's the vital time to do the right things to benefit. Many of the businesses that have been really successful have been successful by doing things differently to everybody else during these periods. So on to step 4, change. I've mentioned this already. Most business owners are used to change, used to the unexpected. This has obviously accelerated that. The crucial and hardest part is getting ahead. It's taken me all week, changing everything I was planning to do this week, talking to my clients, setting up webinars, getting out there, okay? Do not wait. Lead the change. Think. Involve others. People who can help others, bring them in. Those of you who are my clients will know this equation, or you should do. I'm not going to test you. Those that don't, this is the formula for change. Okay, it's crucial for all change. You can use it to help in sales and all sorts of opportunities. But crucially, what it means is dissatisfaction, how dissatisfied people are, times V, their vision, how clear it is what things look like when they're better. Okay, so the dissatisfaction levels, how unhappy they are, with the vision levels, how strongly they want to get somewhere better, plus the easiest possible first step. You have to have easy steps, which is what today is about, okay? So massive dissatisfaction, massive vision of where you want to get to, and a very easy first step. Those elements need to be greater than the resistance to change. As human beings, we do not generally like change. We need to be enough dissatisfaction or enough of a vision of the better outcome to want to move. And it needs to be really easy. Okay? So what we're looking for from today is literally at the end of every step, just jot down a few bullet points of ideas. These will become your first steps, the easy first steps. So what are we talking about changing? Well, at the moment, everything could be up for change. But I've seen some fantastic stuff with products changing, services changing, how people deliver their services, pricing, delivery, staffing. I'm sure you've been watching the news. There's all sorts of novel stuff going on. We need to shift to a leaner, faster, better business within 90 days, which means we need to learn faster, okay? I should point out, I think it was in the introductory stuff, that anyone who'd appreciate a 30-minute call with me to help take today's information and turn it into those first steps, what to do first, please let Gail know when she sends the follow-up tools, okay? I've got clients next week and they're all obviously needing more of my time than usual, but any spare time I've got, I'm allowing Gail to schedule 30-minute calls with business owners who just need some help, okay? All complimentary. Crucially, change requires thought. We need to invest enough hours in thinking, brainstorming, not just running around doing. What needs to change? What can I actually do versus what I can't influence? Get help, use your community, including my community, for ideas. I've got a great network. Some whole businesses will have to shift completely. I've seen pubs turn into farm shops, restaurants suddenly create delivery models, cafes doing, deliveries of drinks to senior citizens, dog training online for kids, where the kids are off, they can be training their dogs, so dog trainers are keeping busy. Literally, it's a time to flex, adapt, and change. It may be the whole business has to change. There's a lot of it going on at the moment. Crucially, there are people out there who have the opposite problem. Everybody wants their stuff. That's a big challenge as well. So getting better and changing it, how quickly you can ramp up, adapt, get people in, all stuff that needs planning. So step 4 is a big one, change. And don't say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't think, how can I sell what I've already got more of? Just, even if it looks okay, the market has changed. Break it, think about it, change what you've already got. Okay, now we're getting on to some of the potentially not so friendly, nice things. Cutting back, okay? Often one of the things that kills businesses for everyone is the fact that they leave this too late. When a fall happens, Cutting back some of the trees has to be a top priority. But crucially, people also cut the wrong things. So what are we talking about? Cash is king. It is all about cash. For those who are clients, you'll be well used to me talking about cash flow forecasting. For those of you who are not clients, you will get a cash flow forecasting template. And again, you've got the 30-minute call for me to help you do that if you need it. Crucially, though, we need to be forecasting what we think our cash is likely to look like, okay? We need to stop spending until we know what that cash flow forecast looks like. And we need to look at those outlays. Again, if you've got a cash flow forecast, I can help with that. I do it with businesses all the time, okay? I'm not being disingenuous. People who get the right help, focus and accountability now, more than ever, will come through this and be ready to grow again in the spring. Cut the wrong things and it could kill businesses. I have clients who have stuck with me in the past to resolve cash flow issues. I have had other clients who have had an impact on their business. They've retracted, haven't used my help or the help of, and they've gone to people like accountants. And unfortunately, they've cut the wrong things and it's damaged their ability to get out of trouble. I've seen it, even in normal times. Okay. What can we renegotiate right now? Okay. Who's out there that we're using that potentially will be able to do things at different rates? The number one thing, and I'm going to spend more time on this later to remember, okay, is if we can slow things down or postpone them, that's great. But the crucial thing to remember, keep marketing and selling. I'm happy to help increase your learning on strategies in this area quickly. If you're not great at sales and marketing in the good times, now is the time to get very good at it. There is a smaller pie in most places, okay? Or if you're in a toilet roll business, there's a different challenge. It's about where to put it and how to get it out there. Either way, we need to be talking to people. We need to be communicating, okay? How people market through these situations determines their business and the shape of their business in the future when the spring comes back, okay? How can your business help those who need it and have too much to do? Are you in IT, human resources, employment law, cleaning, or do you know people who are? Get in touch and help them. So make a note right now if you need to focus on your marketing and sales. And if it is not a strength, invest in getting better. You do not need to be an expert. You do need to be qualified to buy marketing and manage in it. Too many people, when I start working with them, just throw marketing over the fence to experts. It needs to be managed. That's your job as a business owner, okay? It's too easy to waste really valuable cash in marketing. There's plenty of people out there who'll take it off you. So if you need some help with that, let's have that 30-minute call. Right, step 6. Very topical, given the literally, we're waiting as we speak for the announcements in terms of government finance. Extend credit, okay? Now. Do not wait. That cash flow forecast is critical. Extend it now. And so ask for it when you don't need it, okay? While everyone's throwing money at everyone, I've got clients who were already looking at funding. This is actually an opportunity for them. There's suddenly been a flush of new money guaranteed, or will be, okay? So get that money now. Even if you've got money in the bank, I've got clients who have money in the bank, they're still getting money now, okay? Get more than you need. The worst case is that you don't need it and you give it back. A lot of credit lines don't even require an investment. You only pay for them when you use them. I'm talking personal as well. Stack up any credit you can get as soon as possible. Ask for it when you don't need it. If that involves refinancing, now's a good time. Find those lowest rates. Oops. Now, crucially, we also know, and there's lots of information we can share on this, and it's all out there anyway, HMRC are also reacting in terms of delays on tax payments, VAT, corporation tax. There's going to be some more announcements today. Anything and every opportunity not to pay out right now, great time to take it. Do not rely on your current cash, even if it looks okay. This is the number one thing to look at. Note this down in line with your cash flow forecast. Have you done that cash flow forecast? As I said, you'll get a template for that after this as the first step. Step 7, staffing cuts and changes. Some of you have teams, some of you don't. Again, today's very timely because there's information now in terms of cash flow and financing. There's a lot of new information on managing this. And I know plenty of great HR and employment lawyers. If you need advice, there's plenty of really good information being passed around literally as it comes out. I got some only earlier from a great guy. So if you need any help with that, let me know, I can share. Check your contracts. Typically, staff prefer reduced holidays. Unpaid leave, anything that just defers costs, keeps people engaged until such time as things come back. As I said, crucially though, it goes the other way as well. There are people who literally have got staff working all hours. We need to look after those staff. We need to make sure they're supported. Think, if everyone's working all hours, what can we bring into the office? Food, drink, what can we do for their families if they're away? Okay, so if you're, different people are having to adapt staff in all different ways. A cleaning company, for example, was struggling to get enough people. One of the coaches got them in touch with East Midlands Airport, where they've got loads of cleaning people, and East Midlands Airport weren't using them. So there are people out there potentially in other areas, okay? Crucially, if we're talking about reducing staff, too many people traditionally leave losing staff until they have to do it after they've run out of money. We all love our teams and we all want to retain our teams. But crucially, one at a time as needed, without being proactive with the cash flow forecast, causes you to actually have bigger problems later, okay? You lose the benefit of getting rid of people quicker if you wait. Your cash flow is impacted by having them when they're not needed, okay? So again, it comes down to sales pipeline, your marketing and your cash flow forecast, okay? And again, we can assess this together as needed. Doing it by attrition, having people drop out as you run out of money, terrible for morale. You'll end up losing the best people, okay? So proactivity on this is crucial. Sometimes you just have to, maybe you can do pay cuts. Maybe, absolutely, though, we must suspend bonus programs. Unless you're in a position, of course, where your business is excelling and needs more and more people. Then you may need to throw in more overtime, more bonuses, whatever's needed to get it done. But for most, this is not a time to be paying bonuses. People understand right now, you can reinstall them later, compensate people when things are better. So again, just spend a moment to take note on step 7 with your team. If the quick action now is to address, review in line with your cash flow forecast, or at least spend some time thinking about it if you haven't already, or if your plan originally was to wait and see, hopefully the action now is not to wait and see, to plan now based on financing. Many people are already on to step 8. Step 8 is planning to work from home. Crucially, this is where the technology comes in, okay? Maybe we need a skeleton staff. What are the technology needs, okay? Who can help? If needed, I can introduce you to an amazing client of mine. Some of you know Rick. He is advising via free webinars on working from home and using technology and retaining confidentiality if you're in any kind of professional services or regulated industry. All his clients were prepared for this. They all just literally got up, work from home, and they're all sorted. So his business is actually, he's got capacity because all his clients are fine. They've done it all. They were all ready, okay? If you weren't already, let me introduce you to people who can help if you don't already know them. Meetings and reporting. Having people work from home may be a change for a lot of businesses. You can't just leave them there. Over communicate. What meetings are you going to put in place? How are you going to report? This is where we systemize and communicate well. Customer service. How are we going to make sure that our customers are not impacted, our businesses are not impacted while we're off? Okay. We mentioned earlier about client communication, all communication. Well, this is where it kicks in if you're working from home. Banking, mail. What happens if one person's shut off and their internet goes down? Can somebody else cope with that from a different home? So just spend a moment noting down any gaps that may have been prompted by step 8. Most of you are probably in some form of working from home, but as a business, are there any gaps? Who's checking the post? How many people can get onto the bank? What happens if someone's home internet goes down? Or do you just need some help? As I said, I can easily introduce people. Okay, on to step 9. Well, just sorry to reiterate, as we all know now, it could easily be months. Step 9, how do we deliver things? How are we going to deliver things? Okay, so we've heard this as an example here of a pharmacy. A lot of the people that are out there is in London, they're in services. Okay, so we've got people who, how do we deliver services? Well, clearly this is one way of doing it. We're in a better place. Never in history have we been better at being able to deliver service electronically, digitally. Okay, so how do we go online? How equipped are we? What training do we need? Again, I can help with this. I coach online regularly. Not so much public webinars, but certainly coaching and delivering services. So if any help with that needed, then again, just let me know and I can give advice. We really need to think this through. How do we deliver our services? We need to get creative. How can we adapt offerings? I mentioned a few earlier. So it's all about delivery, online, phone. How do we change our staff to be able to deliver? How do we get to them? And if you're a product type of business, what are the resources in terms of packaging, getting stuff out there? What resources are currently suffering that we could make use of to get our stuff out there? You know, there's a lot of people in the gig economy who don't have any work. Can we use them? So it's really important to invest time thinking about how your products get delivered. Now, bear in mind, there could be long-term benefits to doing this. The idea of this is to start to create a way of engaging with people that they might like and that could continue into the future. Okay, but for now, it's about getting it out there. But just take a moment on step 9. As it currently stands, is there any way, or you need to spend some time finding a way to deliver services remotely? I'm not sure if she's on, but I've got, oh no, she was on Wednesday, an interior designer. Okay, everyone's going to be staying at home. So how can she advise people in little webinars or whatever, how to create a better working environment at home? There's all sorts of things. You can't go around people's houses measuring up and doing people's interior design. So people are adapting all the time. If you want to help brainstorming, that's what the call's for. Okay. Great, on to step 10. I mentioned marketing and selling earlier, just in general. This is when it's an absolute step on its own. It is too important not to be. Okay? So marketing is simply buying customers. If we don't do it, we don't get any. Okay? Or we only get what we deserve. Now, some of us are quite lucky. A lot of professional services firms, the phone keeps ringing and other people tell other people, and that is still it's passive marketing, but doing a great job for people, getting them to tell other people about you is a marketing strategy. But we've got to be far more proactive than that now. Okay. Number one, though, too many businesses cut marketing at the time when they most need it. It's a smaller pie. We need to market more. It needs to be the last thing that is cut. If we do not market, we do not need everything else that we've got lying around in the business. Okay, we need to buy customers. Okay, so if we're cutting marketing, it needs to be in line with our cash flow forecast as one of the last resorts. Ideally, you're increasing it. Okay, actually saying, right, we usually do this in marketing, reactive, or this, or this. Now we're going to do more of it. Okay, it may well be that because a lot of people do cut their marketing, that some advertising or some marketing is actually less expensive right now. It could be a fantastic time to get out there and do stuff. But don't just throw out the same stuff. We need to think what people need right now, what they can afford right now, and create offers and rates that suit? How can we help them? Who is out there trying to expand? Who is out there struggling to get everything done? What do you do to help people in this market? It says here, measure your 5 ways. Some of you won't be clients, so you won't know what the 5 ways are. Okay, I'm not going to have time to do a marketing session here and now, but the opportunity is there for everyone. If you don't know what numbers you need to measure, marketing is maths. If you don't know which numbers you need to measure in order to ensure that you're spending money in the right areas, testing, adapting, and changing, I can help. I can send you all the information. Okay, just take one of those half-hour calls. But it's all about thinking first. Okay, all about thinking first. So if you don't know your numbers, your cost of acquisition, how many leads you normally get, where they come from, this is where we start. Okay. So how do you adapt your offerings? Crucially, we've also got to consider offerings that get cash up front. Okay. Smaller, more affordable offerings with cash up front currently are the order of the day. Not things with long lead times and 90 days. By 90 days, you don't know if all these people are going to be around to pay you. Okay. So take a note to improve marketing. Okay. If reviewing your marketing and increasing your marketing is not already on the list of urgent actions, please add it now. If you don't know much about marketing, if you need to learn more about marketing, add that to the list right now. Marketing is too easy to waste money at. Too easy. So let's avoid wasting any really necessary cash on marketing. It's all about test and measure, thinking first, trial and error, and knowing numbers. It's just maths. Okay? So marketing, marketing, marketing. If you're not very good at selling, when you do get somebody talking to you, then again, focus on that, ask for help, learn before you earn. It's very difficult to get clients if you don't do those 2 things. Okay, so we're whizzing through that. On to step 11. Repeat business. We've spoken about increasing, getting more market. Step 11 is all about who do we already know? Who know, likes, and trusts us? Who's used us before? Okay. Repeat business equals profit. It's not uncommon for marketing to drive the first buy. Okay. That's great, but the first buy isn't always the most profitable. Most businesses' profit comes from repeat clients. Okay. So it's now about doing absolutely everything we can to retain our existing clients. So change their products, come up with deals just for them, give them more service than they need, help them on anything they need help with that you can help with or that your network can help with. Okay. It's really important that we do not come out of this losing clients. If clients are wobbling or they're in trouble, find ways to help them along the way. Change products and services to suit such that they're continuing to buy from you, such that when things come back, you can re-expand. I don't want to say too much about bulk buying because there's been too much of it going on in supermarkets. But if people need your stuff, how can you get cash in up front into your business by getting people more of what they need right now? And remember, communication is vital. How you look after your clients right now, for many of them will dictate their view of you as a business in the future. Remember the 80-20 rule. What's that? In most businesses, most of your profit comes from a fraction of your clients. Okay? All clients are not equal. And when things are tight, we need to invest our time in the most important clients. So if you're not a client and you haven't categorized your customers, have a look at the list. When you're going out there, prioritize. Your database, don't view it as one long list and everybody's equal. Okay? View it like a pyramid. At the top, a smaller number of category A clients, that are your best clients. Love, love, love those clients. Okay? Then just a bit further down, you've got your category B clients. Okay? These are great basic clients that use you, that pay you. They're not necessarily the best or the most profitable or your friends. They don't necessarily refer you, but they're crucial clients. Below that, you might have category C clients. Bit of caution, in normal circumstances, maybe you put up with them, but they're a bit of a pain, or they're not as profitable, or they don't pay you on time. These are the ones not to prioritize right now if your business is shrinking, okay? And then at the bottom of that pyramid, unfortunately, most businesses have category D clients. They put up with them, they get what they've given, they work with anyone, and they end up with people who mess them about, take up too much time, and don't pay. This is not the time to be working or marketing for category D clients. It's about spending time and growing A's and B's only, okay? If we want to come out of this leaner and fitter than we went into it, then looking after our clients in the right priority order is critical, okay? So, quick note for yourself now in terms of step 11. What actions can you take to over-communicate with your best customers and help them through these challenging times? One of the things, of course, is to tell them to join this next one of these events on Wednesday, okay? Any value your customers get from you, whether it be by introducing them to good information, to good content, to good contacts, any value they get from other people that you introduce them to, they will thank you for it, okay? They won't thank me or the IT person or the HR person. They will thank you, okay? So if you need any help with any of that, ask on one of the calls. Just book one of the 30-minute calls, and I'm here to help. Turn all of this into a nice little plan. Okay. Step 12. I'm getting into the more human aspect now. Common sense and compassion, okay? And obviously that's partly to do with how we deal with our clients in terms of not over-promising and under-delivering, okay? But crucially, we need to over-deliver to our clients right now, not under-deliver. Look after our clients, as we said, okay? Do more than expected. It's being kind, it's being compassionate. I've got clients on all types of programs. For the purposes of helping them through this, I'm just doing the same content and same information and the same planning cycles with all of them, okay? There's obvious things at the moment, which I'll put up here in terms of the specific scenarios that we're in, okay? But just think, whilst we're worrying about everybody else, while we're running around, okay, number one on the list, as leaders and as business owners, we need to look after ourselves, okay? We need to be able to have the thinking time, to be able to adapt, to be able to remain positive, and to be able to lead, okay? So do you need to take a note to get some new habits to enable you to be healthy, sleep well? Hey, I've never done meditation. Now's the time to take it up. Apparently it's brilliant in these circumstances. I know plenty of my peers who do, okay? For those of you who don't use affirmations, affirmations are verbalizations of positive thoughts. They're used in sports and in coaching all the time. I am statements. I am able to get through this. I am a great leader. Okay, Muhammad Ali was famous for this. He did it publicly all the time until everybody believed it. Okay, you need 3 times positive to 1 negative going on in here in order to be successful. And that's not going to come from everyday life. It needs to come through habit, through building it in. Okay, your brain doesn't know the difference. You've got to tell it. Okay, if you need help with that, again, we can discuss it on the call. There's all sorts of tools and techniques we use on mindset in coaching. Happy to share them, okay? Your mindset and energy levels ultimately will be the number one deciding factor on the outcome of how well you execute during the current situation. And we are going through a hell of a lot of change right now. So do not be addicted to busy, okay? Busy usually means you are in denial about something and you feel better just doing what you've always done. This webinar is about dragging people out of that delusion and into some practical actions that they can take. You need to have the right mindset, okay? Be self-aware, use your coach, whatever, okay? Journaling and recording gratefulness. All of these things have proven to increase perspective, okay? I mentioned it at the start. Perspective is crucial. Eyes on the long-term goal. If you don't have clarity about why you're in business, now's a good time to think about it, okay? Keep focused on what you can do rather than what you cannot. And remember to collaborate. The primary reason for doing these events is to get people out of their solo mindset. Okay, collaboration. If you get nothing from this event, but just another voice or a community or a phone call with someone, do not isolate yourself. Okay, you need to accelerate your learning. Okay, most business owners don't learn fast enough in normal times, which is why 95% of businesses fail in normal times within 10 years. Okay, so in these terms, we need to learn faster. It's crucial to thinking and acting better to be part of a learning community. Okay, so make sure you're part of it and leading that and sharing best practices. Okay, so as business owners, we need to practice random acts of kindness. Okay, let's not forget the real things in life. We know we've got a lot to do in our businesses. Okay, but crucially, let's all be kind. Let's all help each other. It's not going to be in anyone's best interest for people to fall out. Okay. So what's next? In addition to some Q&A, I'll call Gail in a moment after the last slide, and we'll look if there's any questions. The objective of this is obviously to give people follow-up time if needed, not to do it all today. So you will get some follow-up reference documents. There'll be the cash flow forecast spreadsheet, some cash strategies, this video, a link to this, we'll get it somewhere recorded. Remember, for planning purposes, just think this week and the next 3 to 6 weeks, okay? Things will be clearer then, and we're going to have to adapt. Gail will also advise, and when I have availability next week, if anybody wants 30 minutes on the phone just to take some of this and turn it into a practical priority list to get on with, or any help on marketing or whatever, I'm here to help with any spare time I've got in amongst my clients. As I mentioned earlier, one action is to let me know who could benefit from this webinar again on Wednesday. Share, share, share. If it's not this webinar, whatever other great information you've got. Lots of people are going through the grief cycle at the moment, okay? This impact is like a grief. We go through denial, we go through anger, we go through blame, and we get a bit depressed. And quite often we feel overwhelmed. That is natural human behavior. Unfortunately, we need to get people out of that as quickly as possible in the current situation if they are running a business. So let's be nice. Let's help them, okay? Get them onto these webinars, get them into a community, get them out of their home office where it's all going on in their heads, okay? So what can you focus on that you can do right now? How do you avoid being distracted by the things you can't control? Okay, so to finish up, let's drill it down. As always, we are better off with as fewer goals as possible, ideally just one. Potentially that goal might be survival on 30 or 50% of our current revenue, or it might be that we've got to double capacity. Okay, crucially though, it has to be linked to the ability to get paid. Cash is king. So planning the next 3 to 6 weeks is good enough. And the easy first step philosophy is just about, well, what can I do today? It's about having 5 crucial things today, tomorrow, the next day, okay? Remember the old quote, it's not the strongest or the smartest person who survives. It is the most adaptable. It is absolutely true right now, okay? If I can help with that adaptability, if this has given you some ideas, at least a framework in order to take action, then that's the idea, okay? But primarily, we cannot do what we've always done. Carrying on as you have been for most businesses right now is a massive missed opportunity or very dangerous. If you are feeling overwhelmed, it means you need to make decisions. One of the biggest challenges people have in this situation is what to do. They know loads of stuff, but what to do and then what not to do, okay? Making decisions helps reduce overwhelm. So does running around doing activity, being physical, okay? So do affirmations, clearing your mind, okay? So this is where I can help. Remember, communication with clients is vital. avoid the noise from things we can't control, and use good, positive sources of practical information. Let's be flexible in our offerings. What do our clients need right now? What do our community need right now that we can help with? Use your community, use my community to give yourself a greater environment and get creative. We need to think creatively. There will be global initiatives to feed the economy with cash. So our goal is to use that cash and survive, and then thrive. There are plenty of businesses right now for whom this is a massive opportunity. If we look at our marketing, obviously we're going to look at the businesses that need us now. I do not claim to have all the answers, but together we have more of what we need than on our own. And I have access to an amazing network and community that I'm happy to share. Okay, so collaborate, use me and my community. LinkedIn is there. Remain positive. 30 to 40% went under in 2008. Those clients went elsewhere. So be the place that they are going by adapting, developing, learning and growing faster than anybody else. Get thinking and planning right away. Okay, so the main action is to look through your list of little bullet points you might have taken down, ideas of things you haven't done yet, and email me. Let me put my, so email me. My email address is there. Just email me with your top 5 or 6 things. jeff.gosling@actioncoach.com. Actually, I think it's just Jeff Gosling at actioncoach.com. Gail will be reaching out to you. If you have to note down 5 or 6 things to email to me, it means that you're doing the work of prioritizing. So it's for your benefit, not mine. Okay. So getting creative and thinking is more important than being busy doing what you've always done. So there's only one certainty right now. You'll be 100% alive until you are dead. So make the most of it. If that gives a bit of perspective, then I hope that helps. So with that, I'm going to stop recording. And then if anybody does want questions, we can do some. But this is not due to be a mass Q&A, just a few questions on the board if there are. If not, that's fine too. Let me just stop recording.